In large cities, you've probably heard of communities founded by Italian immigrants being referred to as Little Italy. Well, in Northwest Arkansas, we've got something like that too, but it's called Tontitown. Hey, I'm across the room from Heather Peachy here at Tontitown Winery, and she's gonna kind of help me out here on the history of Tontitown. And I'll just have to start out. I'll tell you what I remember from Arkansas history class about 20 years ago, and from growing up visiting Tontitown too, just down the road. And you can fill me on what I missed out on and set me straight. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay.
Can do.
So here's what I got. Okay? So there were a group of immigrants from either Italy or Sicily, and they came to Central Arkansas and did some kind of work where they were under a contract. I think maybe sharecroppers, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
And once they worked out their contract, they came up to Northwest Arkansas. They liked the climate. It worked out better for the grapes, and it's more like home, perhaps. This is all, old knowledge that could be very bad. So they came up here to Northwest Arkansas, and they knew about an Italian explorer named Henry de Tonti. I think that's a good one. And named their town Tontitown, which its locals now say Tontitown. And now Tontitown still has a lot of those original founding families that are keeping up the traditions of their ancestors. So we've got the winery here and vineyards, and we've got really cool Italian restaurants, and also there's an amazing bookstore and some cool flea markets. How'd I do?
That's pretty awesome, actually. Your memory serves you well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the people who founded Tontitown originally came from northern Italy. That's the correction there. Came from northern Italy. Just my family, the Rinaldi's, were the southernmost family. We came from just north of Rome. Everybody else was a little further north than that. And then most of the original founding families came from Italy. They went to, I always say South Arkansas, but it's probably, South Arkansas. Lake Village, right on the Mississippi River. And they went there to work on the cotton plantation. And things just didn't work out real well. Malaria was rampant. It didn't work out very well. So Father Bandini heard, he was in Italy, and he heard about the Italians that were in Lake Village and needed to possibly find another place to go. So he came to Lake Village and helped them find another home. They chose Tontitown. It's they felt like it was like their home. It's higher in elevation, rocky soil, good for drainage, which grapes really need. And they founded Tontitown originally. They came, I guess, in two different waves, and then like my great-grandpa came later. He knew another family that was already here, and he came by himself, and there were some like that.
Well, so Tontitown is a really unique town, and one that really stands out in Arkansas, because it's sort of like a little Italy, you know, but it's a whole town instead of a little segment of a town.
Yeah, and we're fortunate, I feel like, to still be able to, I mean, obviously, you know, we're right beside Springdale. Springdale's definitely moving this way, but we still are able to keep our traditions a little bit, and we're fortunate for that. And things like Mama Z's, Venetian Inn, the winery, Renali Farms. We have a lot of good stuff still going on here.
The Grape Festival, it's a huge deal. You come and have a spaghetti supper, right? And there's a big carnival.
Yeah.
What all else goes on there?
There's a grape stomp. There's grape ice cream.
Yeah.
There's live music. My family, the Renalis, grow the grapes for the Grape Festival, so you can buy the grapes that are in season ready right then. There's a craft fair. It's a good time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And 122nd, supposed to be 122nd Grape Festival this year. So long
it's
time running.
It's amazing that Tontitown's been around so long, but still held on to so much of where they came from.
Yeah.
I think that's
really cool.
That really makes it special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can't forget our museum here in town too. It's a small but mighty museum. Lots of history packed in there, and a pretty awesome story to tell, really.
So St. Joseph Church is still on the corner where it's always been.
On the corner.
Now the older building, it's really neat what they've done. The older building kind of, it was time for it to go, but they've kept the bell tower and done it in a really neat way. And it looks like the town's working toward kind of a garden park kind of thing.
Yeah. The tear down of the church obviously was a sad deal, but the process of memorializing the bell tower has been a fun process to watch. There was a committee with the church that was raising funds to do it all, and I think my understanding from the drawings that I've seen, it will have park benches and lots of foliage, and already they've painted it and done some neat things.
Yeah, it looks really good. It
does.
They've done it in such a way that you can tell it's intentionally. They've taken the building, but it looks intentional. It looks really nice.
Yeah, and I think it's important. That church was built by the people of Tontitown, and that's a big deal. So many weddings and funerals and baptisms or christenings, and so much going on that it would have been hard to take if it was totally gone.
Well, thank you, Heather, and thank you Only in Arkansas for sponsoring this video. Life's what you make it. Let's get our hands dirty. Well, like a real amateur, I visited Tontitown on the day that Mama Z's and the Venetian Inn were closed. See, I grew up going to Tontitown every now and then for their amazing spaghetti dinners. But I did find Tontitown style spaghetti noodles there at Renali Farms at their farm stand. They make them weekly, so that's kind of a win. While you're here, if you enjoyed this, why don't you go ahead and subscribe and click the bell so you get a notification.